How's it going today, YouTube? N250 here. Just wanted to do a little video today for you on my new bike. Now, you've seen it in a couple of videos. I definitely upgraded my bike. Started out on a 1996 Ninja 250, and that ended up breaking down. It ended up needing a full top end rebuild, and unfortunately that just wasn't going to happen. Don't have the time to work on it myself, and it was going to be $2,000 at a shop to fix. So what I ended up deciding to do was get myself a new motorcycle. What I have currently is a 2015, almost 20 years newer than my last bike, Ninja 650 Kawasaki, and it's pretty great. So I wanted to do a little review for you guys and kind of my experience that I've had with it since I got it about 2 months ago. So basically this is a 650cc motorcycle. It is a 2-cylinder, so compared to a 600cc bike, which are 4-cylinder bikes, it's got more low-end grunt to it. It's got some nice low-end torque, so it's fun to drive around the city and at lower speeds. And it doesn't have the top end and want to murder you like some of the 600s and 1000s will. And like I said, I purchased this bike about 2 months ago. I bought it from Simply Street Bikes in Eden Prairie, Minnesota. So shout out to them. Great experience. It was a great place to pick this up. They let me sit on it. Let me take it out for a test drive before I signed all the paperwork. I did have to have it insured in my name, but that's alright. I picked up the motorcycle with about 11,000 miles on it for about $5,700. Since I did end up financing, there's obviously going to be like the interest charges and gap coverage insurance that I have on it. That's all stuff to be expected when financing a vehicle, and no big problem to me. This bike did have a little bit of minor damage from being dropped in a garage. Just a scrape on some of the covers and fairings. And then within a couple weeks of purchasing the bike, I also did drop it in a parking lot and broke one of my mirrors, but as you can see, everything is functional currently. All it needs is a little touch of paint on the fairing, nothing cracked. This motorcycle has about 64 horsepower and 64 foot-pounds of torque, which is pretty good for this machine. Compared to like a 600cc bike, those are going to have maybe a little bit closer to 100. But this is just enough for me learning how to ride and just kind of the mechanics and get a little more technical. Some other things about the Ninja 650 is it's a very upright riding position. This is due to the handlebars. The handlebars are actually more like a standard bike's handlebars. They aren't clip-on, so it doesn't get you real tucked in. You actually sit up nice and straight. If you bend your arms, you can get yourself into a nice little race tuck. While the Ninja 650 is more of an upright bike and less sporty riding style, it is rather flicky still. You can flick it around. It does take corners pretty well and will get low. One of my favorite things about this bike is how quiet it is. I know a lot of people are really obsessed with making their bikes louder and making it scream. I just like the low little grunt that this gets. And once you get going, you can barely hear it over the wind. That might just be due to my crappy helmet. Another couple features that I really like are is the dash setup. Whoa, what are you doing? I like the dash setup for a number of reasons. Number one, it has a clock. On my last motorcycle, I ended up having to get a watch, or actually it came with a watch that was strapped to the handlebars, like a wristwatch. Another cool thing is it does have a fuel gauge. so there's no risk of running out of gas. On my old motorcycle, I ended up running out of gas probably 2 or 3 times just because you had to stick your nose in the tank and see what you had and count your miles. It has a digital speedometer and an analog tach, all of which seem to be fairly accurate. Now some pros and cons of the bike. Pro for this bike is it's very, very comfortable with lots of features to it. And for such an affordable bike, for something that, you know, a starter can jump on, you really get a lot of things. The only thing it's really missing is probably a shift indicator. You get good visibility, you get good power, you get good feel and everything. Now some downsides to the bike, and you know, I don't believe there are a ton, is while it has power and, you know, it's still fun, it does not have the power of a 600, which is fine because I don't need that quite yet, and it won't, you know, keep up at those higher rev ranges. Another thing I don't particularly like about this motorcycle is the wind buffeting. I don't like the wind buffeting that it has. It seems to keep the wind nice and off your chest, but it kind of pushes it up into your head. So at higher speeds, you kind of end up turning into a bobblehead a little bit, and that can get kind of annoying and make for a really noisy ride with an already noisy helmet. And one other thing that would be cool on this bike, and I really wouldn't say it's you know, a negative to it, but would have been nice if it came with a quick shifter from the factory and shifted maybe a little bit smoother. And that might just be me learning and, you know, not being 100% on my game. Now, who would I recommend this motorcycle for? Number one, beginners. Typically people want to tell people to start out with 250s, and I did that. And the downside of a 250 is you do actually really get bored of it, and you'll want to swap up right away anyways, unless you're one of those people that just can be content. Then that's fine, get a 250 or a 300. I probably would have stuck with my 250 for a little bit longer had it not broken. I would also recommend this bike to, you know, intermediate people or people that have to commute, because it still does have a decent amount of power. You can have fun with it, you can get yourself into some trouble, and it's comfortable. You know, with it being so comfortable, it would be a bike that you can easily drive to work every day if weather permits, or if you don't care about weather, just whenever. I have put about 2,000 miles on this bike over the last 2 months. Because I've been riding it to work. I've been just cruising around doing nothing and trying to get better with it. And it has been great. I have had 0 issues with it. The only things I've had to do on it so far are wash it, and, clean and lube the chain, which is not a big deal. So as always, I hope you enjoy your day. Thanks for watching my video. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know, guys, what kind of stuff you want to see, what kind of stuff you want to hear about. Please, again, like, comment, subscribe. I love y'all. We'll see you next time.